Vicky Vale.
Bruce Wayne.
And what do you do for a living?
What are you? I'm Batman. Where does he get those wonderful toys?
My life is really complex.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Worse. This is going to be our review on Batman 1989, directed by Tim Burton. And we all got varying thoughts on it.
Yeah, that we do.
So,
Kolyn is the big Batman fan.
Oh, hell yeah.
But let's save the fan for last.
Yeah, go ahead.
My opinion, drum roll please, I haven't seen this pretty much since, I've seen bits and pieces as an adult, but I haven't actually sat through it since I was a kid. I just wanted to reveal that to you guys right away here. I'm very indifferent about this movie. I'm just going to be completely honest. I think it was good for its time. Definitely very good. The special effects, just to throw this out there right away, the stuff where the Batmobile changes its armor shapes and stuff, that's cool, and that actually looked really good. And we watched it on Blu-ray, and so props to the Blu-ray, applause, it looks really good. Go ahead. What?
I was just saying thanks to yours truly.
Yeah. I like Michael Keaton as Batman. I think he does Bruce Wayne and Batman, for its time, like I said, really well done. I like the kind of Killing Joke sort of mix to it, where it's at the beginning, but it has the story about, Joker is not, exactly who he is, his name, and Kolyn would know more because he knows the graphic novel, and you said that, he's a civilized man, and in this movie he's a crook.
Yeah, he starts off as a gangster. In the comic, those of you who haven't read it, in the Killing Joke, like I've said before, he starts off as a normal average guy, and then he becomes insane. But in this movie, in the actual film, he starts off, he's already a gangster, he's already a hitman for the mob, and that's what inspired the Joker for the animated series. Even the same name, Jack Napier, was actually the same name in the animated series, so that was heavily inspired by the 1989 Batman. The whole look of the animated series was heavily inspired by the animated series. Even the opening theme is pretty much the same as the same orchestra theme from the first Batman film.
I'm kind of along with you. I didn't want to be right along with you either. It's been a while since
we all want to like it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, and it's been since I was a kid since I saw it all the way through, even though I did watch it recently with Phil.
On VHS.
Yeah, on VHS, so it was kind of a trip, but I don't know. I like it. It's not a bad movie at all. I like it, but there's just, I guess it might be the bombardment of all the really awesome new Batman stuff that we've seen, goes in terms with, Dark Knight and Nolan trilogy and all that. This movie to me, probably after all this time, is kind of underwhelming, and I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be indifferent.
It weaves in and out for me, where
there is some really good stuff in
this. And then blah.
There's this really good stuff in this. Tim Burton is a visionary director, always has been, and this is at the peak of his popularity. It shows, it's going to show even more with when we do Batman Returns, but it's a really awesome watch, but it's just kind of underwhelming now with all this new other Batman stuff that I'm used to.
But that's what I'm not doing. I am not comparing it to anything new. Obviously, there's new stuff popping in my head. Well, I like this better, I like that, but I'm just reviewing it as its own movie, and as for itself, there's just things about it I just simply dislike.
But yeah, I can see what they're saying. Yeah, the movie is really dated. It's, like I said, for its time, it was mind-blowing. When they actually did it, this movie went through development hell. mean, when it was first made, because everybody was trying to in the late 70s.
It's like you're trying to get Batman on the screen, so
yeah,
it's not.
Well, in the late 70s, he had already been in a movie once, which was the Adam West TV show movie, and a lot of fans were getting sick of that because they were making Batman silly and they wanted him to be taken seriously. So in the late 70s, this is when, of course, my favorite era of the comics, they started bringing Batman back to his dark roots and making him into a, more vengeful character and bringing him back to the way he used to be back in 1939, which was a great, I've always said if I could go back and grow up in the 80s, that's where I wanted to grow up, because that's when all the cool things in comics came out. Everything from all the dark and gritty Batman stories to Venom coming out and Spider-Man, really good X-Men stories, all the good Wolverine stuff, all that stuff came out in the 80s. I mean, the Ninja Turtles, the debut of the Ninja Turtles. I mean, just everything. The 80s was a big time. So when this came out, it blew everybody's mind. Because everybody was so scared of Michael Keaton being cast as Batman because he was a real comedic actor. He had just done Beetlejuice. And everybody was like, "Oh man, why him? He's not tall enough. He's a comedic actor. Why him?" And when everybody actually sat down and saw the movie, everybody went head over heels for this guy. Everybody loved Michael Keaton as Batman, and I really think, this movie stands it started the modern superhero film. That's honestly the real reason I like it. Is that it's cheesy, it's dated, and I know Superman came first. And everybody was impressed with, look, the guy can fly. But, this movie, in my opinion, it really ushered in superheroes as we know them now. And that's honestly why I really respect it. And plus, Jack Nicholson did a great job as the Joker. I feel like now that Heath Ledger's come onto the scene, and Jared Leto's fixing to show us what he can do, I feel like Jack Nicholson's kind of getting left in the rubble a little bit. But, he did a really good job as the Joker. I really like. A lot of people don't like him, but I still like him.
Well, one of the issues with me is honestly Jack Nicholson. I really like his voice. I really like, that it was a different tone of Joker being a deeper voice. I'm sorry, it throws me off every time I look at his face. The weird, it throws me off. They could have used his just normal face. I'm just reviewing this just as an adult, as the production for its time. They should have done that differently, in my opinion. That he already has the big grin. If you've seen him in all of his comedic roles where he's can be really dark and all that, that would have been great. I think Jack Nicholson would even make a great Joker now if they just kind of didn't do it like that.
And that's understandable. Not a lot of people. There's a lot of people nowadays that don't really like the way he did it. And I can understand why. I respect, honestly, because he's the only one that's really brought the comic book Joker to the screen. Heath Ledger did a lot of the modern stuff in comics, but as far as what Joker himself does in the comics, with all the gag weapons and all that.
Definitely the best part of this movie for me, by far. I enjoyed him thoroughly. I don't have any problems with Nicholson myself. With from the face thing, I think it's creepy, but it's really meant to be in a very good way. I love it.
I can understand that point of view.
But yeah, all the gags, all the jokes. He was literally a Joker. Yeah. It's awesome. I love his voice and everything. I loved everything about him in this. He's got to be my favorite part of this movie.
You were saying that he's telling a lot more jokes. That was honestly the only problem I had with Heath Ledger's performance. Was as funny as he was, he didn't really. He wasn't. He was humorous, but he wasn't. He didn't add sadistic jokes to it. And honestly, that's what I feel like. That's what the Joker needs. Because in the comics, besides him brutally murdering people, he always adds something funny. Like one of my favorite comic book writers has said, the best way Joker can be written in comic form is when he's terrifying, and then when he should make you laugh at inappropriate times, then you should hate yourself for doing it. You should hate yourself for laughing with him. But when you do, it's funny. It really is. It's sick, but it's funny. And I've yet to see an actor that's done that, and I hope Jared Leto does it. I really hope Jared Leto can kind of combine with what all the other Jokers have done in the past, kind of like with what Tom Holland's doing with Spider-Man, because everybody's saying this Spider-Man, combines everything that the other two actors did really well. So let's hope Jared Leto can do it.
What about Michael Keaton, guys? Thoughts?
I honestly think he did a good job. when I think of Bruce Wayne, like, I mean, as far as the look of him, I think Michael Keaton delivers on it. I mean, the glasses, and I mean, just when he's sitting in the chair and he's thinking to himself. I mean, to me, that's and plus, not Jack Nicholson, but Michael Keaton can really. He really is crazy. I mean, like whenever he's doing like the "come on, let's get nuts" and he's being nuts. I mean, you can
cool.
you can really like to me like you can believe that guy would put on a costume and go out and fight crime. I mean, he's really not all there in the head, and that's part of Batman. So I mean, yeah, the suit is a little dated for its time.
It's
I know
really good for its time, actually.
Oh yeah, I mean the suit. Yeah, the suit looked good for some, and it still does. I mean, it's my favorite suit next to the Dark Knight films. I mean, as far as any of the original suits, it's my favorite costume. I loved him as Batman and Michael Keaton, and he still has the best "I'm Batman" more than anybody that's done it.
Really like
I mean, he doesn't have to scream.
Like, he's surprised, because I didn't remember what he sounded like as Batman, but that actually sounded pretty brutal and pretty, like, yeah, so, I mean, like you said, it kind of started the more brutal Batman, and that's what we needed, was something like that. And Tim Burton, you're the guy for dark and gritty nonsense, and so, what about, I forgot her name, the love interest?
Vicky Vale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she just, like, created for the movie, or she's
she's from the comics. She's from the comics, yeah, and she was a photojournalist originally, I'm pretty sure, and then in the later comics they made her into a news anchor woman, so she's done different things out of the comics, but, I'm pretty sure that was his first love interest, or no, it's not, no, it wasn't, I take that back. But yeah, she's a comic book character.
I think she's one of the better parts of this movie, actually. She does, like, really well. I mean, like, I love when she actually shows up in the Batcave, and, like, he had just previously tried to tell her who he was, and then, like, now it's just like, oh, well, I know what you were trying to say now. Here's your Batcave. Like, it's just very obvious with the cave and all the gadgets. It's very cool. And like I said, all the gadgets and all that, too, like the car and all that, that was really cool. Yeah, the Batmobile look may be a little, like, dated in my opinion, but obviously, like I said, all the armor and stuff that it has, that won me over.
Honestly, my opinion on the Batmobile, I think that's really the classic design next to the Tumbler. I like the Tumbler.
And I feel like that was mixed with the Tumbler to make Batflex. Like, it's that sleek look. I love it.
Yeah, which I know a lot of people really like the 60s car, and I still like the 60s myself, but whenever I think of the Batmobile, like, honestly, if I could pick any of the cars that they've done, I'm going to go with the 1989 because
I'm pretty sure that I had a Hot Wheel of that. Like when I was a kid.
I have one myself. Yeah. I still have one. And it's a really cool looking car, and I guarantee you if it pulls up in front of somewhere, everybody knows what that is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's very iconic, and it's a classic car, and that one next to the 60s one, everybody knows that car. So, I mean, it just depends on what your tastes are. I mean, like I said, I still like the Tumbler, but, like, if I had to pick a favorite Batmobile, it's the 1989 one all the way.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. That was our review on Batman 1989. It was
long time coming.
Yeah,
we had to do this for a while.
Yeah,
and it was very worth watching. Even though I don't have like a super positive review on it, I did enjoy my watch, and I did. I'm glad that I got to watch it after all this time because it's one of those movies that it deserves to be looked at. Superhero fans all around need to watch this movie and know where stuff came from. So. If you're a fan of Batman and you haven't seen 1989, or you're just a person that wants to watch an 80s movie right on the brink of 90s, then go ahead and watch Batman 1989. Let us know in the comments what you think of the movie, and let us know what you thought of our general review. Next on the list is Batman Returns. I cannot wait to actually watch that. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what I'll think of it. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, and we'll check it out.
So, look forward to that, and check out some of our other reactions and reviews that we have done. Become a worst friend today. Subscribe right now. Hit the like button. Oh, and if you want to go ahead and do that kind of thing, like and share, which I already said like, but share the video as well, because your support means so much, guys, and thank you so much for watching.